But when you hit a wall, like I did, with no family, you don't know what to do. You just lose it all. So, makes you think, like, what am I going to do next time I'm coming back around? So, that's to find out who you truly got when you don't have nothing.
In this country, it's, I'm living in a neighborhood where I'm in day-to-day contact with poverty and people living below the poverty line, and watching people in the neighborhood, who are just, sitting idle and have no work and nothing to do. And, I think people think that doesn't exist so much in America, but it's everywhere.
It's more than a lack of anything. I think it's not only a lack, but it's being blamed for not having. Being ignored. I think because you're not on the same level as someone else, mostly financially, but not. It's not just limited to that. I think that's my best definition of poverty.
So it's a complicated question, because if you only apply the economic rules, as it were, that our government stipulates, poverty is living below a certain level of income. But I think of it in the more global sense and the emotional sense of it. To me, living in poverty means living in fear. Poverty is something, when measured beyond simply whether you have enough money in your pocket to feed yourself and your family. Beyond that is the fear that you will never escape it, that it is a circle that will always be tied around you like a noose, and that you cannot escape the noose of poverty. So when I see it around me here in Cincinnati, working in Over the Rhine, I see many kinds of poverty. I see families that have been torn asunder, and mothers with many children and no father anywhere to be found. I see people who are alone on the streets, trying to find shelter, trying to find food, trying to find warmth in the winter. And I also see a different kind of poverty. I see a poverty of spirit. And for me, even though economic poverty is crushing, the poverty of spirit to me is devastating. When someone, through lack of financial resource, gets to a point in their life where they have what I call for myself a hope deficit, that's true poverty for me. That means that you have lost, or it has been taken away from you, your ability to dream, your ability to hope for a better life. And you settle into this kind of miasma of a day-to-day or a sunrise-to-sunset existence that is truly the most devastating kind of poverty. It's the poverty of despair. So you ask the question, what is poverty to me in relation to living and working in Cincinnati? And it is many kinds of poverty.
I think society equates poverty with weakness and wealth with knowledge and things that are completely unrelated. But I don't know. I mean, I think that people in poverty, living in poverty, and generations of families living in poverty often have fewer choices and fewer options than you or I may have, and I think sometimes perhaps their decisions, good or bad, are related to their financial state. Yes, I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, I don't feel like it's like a chicken and egg situation, no. I feel like we're all products of our environments, and if your environment is one of poverty, you're going to have a different life and a different day-to-day than someone who has resources and opportunities.
I would define poverty as emptiness. I wrote an article for Street Vibes because I've noticed that people don't just ignore the less fortunate or the homeless. They kind of pretend that we don't exist, which is worse. I think it's like they don't want their fantasy to have any gray clouds, have any black clouds. So they walk around like we don't exist. Speak and say hi, how you're doing, and you can make eye contact with somebody in this city and speak to them and they will not speak back. They won't miss a beat not speaking back. And I don't know why. I think it's because they just want their fantasy of everybody is equal and everybody has what they need to stay intact. But it's a fantasy, it's just not actually